Very hello students. In this way I am coming on UNACADEMY platform for CET classes, but actually I am taking NEET for everyone. Okay, because in NEET only all the state exams, medical exam has been included. So all of you can join me in the UNACADEMY classes and you can avail the facility. I take special classes student especially for all of you because all the classes are absolutely free. You people need not to pay a single rupee from your pocket, and you can utilize completely the classes, and it will be very useful for every one of you student if you follow the classes. Similarly, every day I am taking classes for the students on UNACADEMY. Generally I follow the timing, that is from 3 to 4 and 8 to 9. 8 to 9 is a fixed time students, I'll tell you. Night 8 to 9, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is a fixed timing I take classes for UNACADEMY students, and that will be very beneficial. So what I have started doing this, I'll be recording the sessions and putting on YouTube, but if you come for a live class, it will be really interactive and useful for all of you. So if you come for the classes, this will generally help every one of you, and this will be properly guiding you through. It will be a guide post, it will be guiding all of you and will be helping you to attain good marks in the coming exam. So let's start it, let's crack it in this way. Prepare nicely for the 2021 or class 12 student as well as class 11 student. We are going to prepare in this way, and I make sure that all students are going to get good marks. So all the best and all of you, and with UNACADEMY, let's crack it. Thank you all of you, and we'll meet in the next class students. So students, UNACADEMY poses to be one of the very good platform for all the students, and during this COVID-19, it has been a great help through the UNACADEMY, which they have been providing a platform for learning and solving your doubts. Many of the students have been joining me, and I've been learning through the UNACADEMY. Even through me, through the UNACADEMY, they have been learning, and then they have been also utilizing the complete, that is the facility of being for the UNACADEMY, and they have been learning through the classes, solving their doubts, solving their queries, solving their questions. So it has been a very good moment for every one of us. So let us know that is one of the very important thing, and it has been very fruitful for all the students also. That is remarkable. Now, since you people have been liking UNACADEMY, you can definitely go for some of the good subscription which are there on the UNACADEMY. Definitely you people can go for it. For an example, if you see students, then there is Plus course, which is especially featured for every one of you and is very beneficial also. Okay, you see, it generally deals with the complete course syllabus completion. That is what we see. There are many tips and tricks given by the educator which can be utilized by the student. That is also one very important need which is going to be catered. There is also one very important need which can be easily catered by the students. That's also one very important part, student. As well as we also find that the full length mock test paper, topic wise practice of the questions will be done. If you definitely feel like to come for the classes, you can go for a trial of 1 month even. That is for 2,250 rupees only. But always remember, when you go for such a subscription, if you use this code, okay, if you use the code, students, that is Dr. Puneet 1986, it will be useful for every one of you, and you can definitely you can avail a 10% of flat discount. So it will definitely provide you a flat 10% of discount, and this is a good amount of discount what you get. But this is not all. We have a little more catch. Let us try to see that also. This is not just all. We'll see what rest we have in our package. So if you go with a plan which is of around 12 months, okay, when you go with a plan of around 12 months, that is also one of the very good plan you have, and you see a meager amount, a very less amount is going to be charged for all of you, and the amount which is going to be charged is just 12,375 rupees. Similarly, if you go for a 6 months plan, it comes out to be around 10,125, hardly 2,000 something rupees is a difference. I would definitely prefer for the 12 months plan. It's a good plan. And what are the benefits of the plan? That will also we'll learn in a short while. Okay, just in a short while we are going to learn that also, what are the benefits of using this plan. And as we have discussed, 1 month, then it comes out to this. Do not forget to use the code. If you use this code, again you get a flat 10% of discount, student. A flat 10% discount is there. There is a flat 10% of discount. Now that's a huge discount, no, if you apply for this. So this course comes out to be only for, no, you get a good amount of discount for this. Okay, 10% of this. Okay, 1,237.5 rupees, that much of discount will be given to all of you, and which will be quite beneficial for every one of you, which is quite beneficial for all of you, and you can enjoy the discount. Now, if you go for this price, what are the things which you are going to get? Let's come to that part. You get a premium content at a very affordable price, first thing. Then there is a very structured live courses and dedicated live doubt classes which will be given to all of you. Quiz at regular interval will be given, students. And the batch for the complete preparation, the batches for the complete preparation is there. Test series, a DPP full length mock test will be there. Okay, and with their analysis, not only that, with their analysis will also be there. And we'll also have a subscription which is unlimited subscription, students, you are going to get. That is also one very important factor, important grid which we are going to see in this, student. Have you all understood? That's really great. So let me upload the file and let's start with the little more heavy stuff. That is nothing but with the class. Let's start with the class, student. Files are loading. You just need to wait a little. Yes, it got loaded. So we are starting with the third lecture, student. As you see, we are starting with the third lecture, student. As you can see now. Let us try to learn something. Now, the female reproductive system, we have not done it yet. Okay, the female reproductive system was still pending, which we had not completed. So that was something which was really pending for all of us. As well as we'll have some question round, also question sessions will also be there. So let's start with that part. I hope the class which I am taking for every one of you, you are able to understand the classes properly, and this is really helping all of you. Okay, for your preparation part, it will be really helpful for you for your preparation part, students. Okay, and we are definitely focusing on 2021-2022 students. For those, now the classes are in a full-fledged, most descriptive manner. I am teaching you and taking the classes. So this is for 2000 exactly 21 and 22. I'm focusing basically on that part. Now you see, let's go next. That is the female reproductive system. If you go with this part, female reproductive system. So if you see, we have got the ovaries. A pair of ovary is present. And the abdominal cavity is attached to the wall and by a fold of peritoneum, that is called as mesovarium. Now what is this is, ovary is connected to the wall of the body with the help of the complete ligaments, as well as the connective tissues are present. And this connective tissue directly, they connect by a fold of peritoneum. Okay, there is a fold of peritoneum through which it is going to connect, and that peritoneal fold is called as mesovarium. The peritoneum fold is called as mesovarium, student. That is what we are going to find. Each ovary, if you see, each ovary has got 4 parts. From outer to inner, it has got 4 parts. Each ovary has got 4 parts. Germinal epithelium, if you see, okay, germinal epithelium, if you see, then you can easily understand that that comes out to be the squamous epithelium. Okay, then cuboidal epithelium involved in the formation of oogonia in the fetus. You see there is a difference. In males, the spermatogenesis was only after the birth. In males, the spermatogenesis was only after the birth, but in females, if you see students, the oogenesis has started from the 7th month of conceivance. That is very important, student. This point is very important. When does the oogenesis starts? Oogenesis starts from the 7th month of conceivance. So if we go for this term, the oogonia formation, that is oogenesis. Oogonia formation, that is oogenesis, starts from the 7th month of fetal development. 7th month of fetal development, we find that the oogenesis is going to start, students. Okay, that is one very important factor which we are going to see, which we are going to notice, student. That is what we find out, figure out in this manner. That's very important, and we are done with this. Next we'll go to, there is the female reproductive system, that is tunica albuginea. Okay, female reproductive system, that is tunica albuginea. We are going to do, yeah. So in that we'll find that the second is coming out to be is the tunica albuginea. It's a dense covering after mesovarium. This one is the next part. We find that tunica albuginea, which is one of the very dense covering, where we find that there are two parts in which the ovary is divided. There are two parts. Yes, very good afternoon to every one of you. There are two parts in which the ovary is divided. The outer one is called as cortex, and the inner one is called as medulla. Now in AIMS, what kind of question will be asked? They will simply ask which is more densely packed, cortex or medulla. So when you go to AIMS, now in AIMS they will simply ask a question which is more densely packed, cortex or medulla of the ovary. Answer comes out to be is cortex. Cortex is densely packed and medulla is loosely packed. Medulla is loosely packed, cortex is densely packed, student. One very important thing, one very important factor which we are going to see, student. Cortex is going to be very densely packed and medulla is going to be very loosely packed structure. Medulla is going to be one of the very loosely packed structure. That is what we see. Let's go to the next part, student, and we'll try to understand what is the other part which we have got. Let's see one by one. So when we go to the cortex, you see, yes. So the cortex, it consists of, you see, as the name suggests, here it is fibroblast cells, reticular fiber and ovarian follicle, and they are very densely packed, student. Whereas the medulla, if you see, medulla is one of the structure which is going to be a central less dense connective tissue. You see right written over here. Rich in blood supply, okay, rich in blood supply through the blood vessels, and it also consists of the elastic fiber, smooth muscle fiber, and few nerves are also there. Nerve fibers are also present in this. We also find that few nerve fibers are also present. So through the nerve fibers, what happens? The impulses, the hormonal impact, everything comes to that particular region. The impulses, hormonal impact, everything comes to that particular region. That is one very important fact which we are going to see, students. Along with that, we find that the cortex and the medulla together is also known as stroma. Now when we go to this term stroma, it's a very relevant term. We have to understand this term, what is stroma. A stroma itself means, a stroma itself means cavity. Stroma is a Greek word which means cavity. Okay, which means cavity. So this is how we understand the complete structure, that is the cortex, medulla together it is present, where it has got the stroma, and stroma is nothing but it's the cavity, students, which we are going to find out. Let us go to the next part of the slide and see what all we have. Okay, now this is the transverse section of an ovary, and I'll just magnify this image for all of you so that we can understand the image one by one. So you see the ovary attachment is with the help of the mesovarium. Okay, the ovary attachment is with the help of mesovarium, as you can see, student. One by one we'll learn. So you see here comes out to be the mesovarium, which is very important. Then we also find that there is a peritoneal covering. You see the outermost covering, if you just see it very clearly, the outermost covering is the complete, that is the peritoneal covering, which is covering the outermost structure of the ovary, peritoneum, to the peritoneal fold called as mesovarium. It is going to be attached. That all we have already learned, student. This is all we have already learned. We have already seen that. Okay, good, students. Then the growing of the complete follicle, ovarian follicle, can be seen inside. That will do later. Then the next layer comes out to be is the germinal epithelium. The next layer comes out to be is the germinal epithelia, one of the very important layer. The next layer comes out to be is the germinal epithelia. Now this germinal epithelium, which is present, just this outer germinal epithelium is one of the very important layer, where we also call it as, these are the gametogonial cells, or we say ovarian mother cells, ova mother cells. Okay, we also call it as a ova mother cells. So I'll just mark it, and we call it as the ovarian mother cells. Also, one more term is given to them. We also call it as oogonial mother cells, oogonia. So we also call it as oogonia. We also call it as oogonia. That term is also utilized. We also call it as oogonia, students. That term is also utilized. Similarly, when we go to the rest part, we can easily figure out there are some more structures which are present. Okay, like growing of the follicle. So follicle, you see they are very small in size right over here. So they will start growing slowly. How they will start growing slowly? What will happen? They'll form a primary oocyte. Let me write with a blue pen, it will be more visible. So it forms primary oocyte. So number one is primary oocyte. Then we get secondary oocyte. Then we see secondary. Then this is tertiary oocyte. These are secondary 2 degree. This is tertiary 3 degree. And then this is a mature graphene follicle. This one will be called as a mature graphene follicle. You see, we have already spoke about, there is an outer covering of the tertiary oocyte. We call it as a theca. It has got multiple layers like theca externa, theca interna. These are the layers which we are going to see in case of the follicular cells. The follicles, we are going to find such all structures to be there. Okay, very good afternoons. Okay, more students have joined. I can see that. Okay, Bhagya Lakshmi, Rachana, and many other students have also joined. I can see Darshan is there. Yes, Darshan, Mahesh, Desai. Okay, today many new students have also joined. Okay, those students who have joined for the first time, let me tell you, my classes are scheduled every day from 3 to 4 p.m. and also from 8 to 9 p.m. I take 2 classes. Okay, I take 2 classes, 2 slots student for all of you. That is in that 2 slots are 3 to 4 and 8 to 9 student. That is the slot which I am going to take. Okay, now what do we see next? What we are going to see, student? Then we have got the follicle cells also which are present. The follicle cells are present, cortical and stroma. We can find it over here, the cortical and the stroma. Then membrane granulosa cells are there. Corona radiata layer is there. Granulosa layer, radiata layer, corona radiata. Then discus proligerus, we also call it as cumulus euphorus. Discus proligerus is also called as cumulus euphorus. Another term comes out to be is cumulus euphorus. Okay, cumulus euphorus. Some books they also mention it as raphae, R-A-P-H-A-E. But that was one of the old term once upon a time we used to use, and now there is no term such as raphae. There is no term as such as a raphae. Rather we use a cumulus euphorus or discus. Okay, yes, discus, that's proligerus. Discus proligerus also we are going to use. Then there is a follicular cavity. This cavity is also called as antrum. We also call it as antrum. Antrum. Then we have got a fibrous connective tissue. Definitely it is present in the medullary region. Ruptured follicle, as the follicle is going to rupture, the egg is going to be released. I can call it to be ovum now. As the egg is going to be released out, I can call it to be ovum now. It can be perfectly called to be ovum. The ovum is going to be released and it will be going outside. Absolutely correct, student. You are catching it very correct. It's going to go outside. Along with that, now the Graafian follicle is called as corpus luteum. A ruptured Graafian follicle is called as corpus luteum. It is because of the pigments which is present called as lutein cells, which are yellow in color. So corpus luteum is yellow in color due to lutein pigment present in it. So corpus luteum is yellow in color because of lutein pigment present in it. And this corpus luteum will turn into corpus albicans, which is a white body. Corpus albicans is a white body, white gravid body we call it as. Because all the lutein pigment and lutein cells are killed, and now it turns out to be white in color. So we call it as a corpus albicans. Medullary sheath is present and there is a general, yes, exactly. Medullary stroma and a general epithelium is present as what we see over here. A general epithelium is also present and the medullary stroma is also present. So these are some of the structures, student, which we are going to find, and they are very useful and helpful for the complete structure of the ovary. To the maximum detail, students, we have understood and we have learned about the ovary. To the maximum detail we have learned, student. This is the maximum what you need to learn about the ovary, students. Have you all understood? Have you all understood, student? Okay. Let's go next. Now, we go for the transverse section of ovary. So we also call it as a TS of ovary, that we are going to learn how the TS of ovary is present and how it's going to be starting and working together. TS of ovary. Around 2 million oogonia, differentiates in the fetal ovary during oogenesis. Is going to differentiate during fetal differentiation during the fetal development. It is going to be developing, student. Around 2 million. You see, the numbers are quite important. That is what they ask in the exam. 2 million. That is a huge number, but it is always lesser than the spermatogenesis. Always remember, it is always lesser than the spermatogenesis. That is something which is remarkable. You need to remember. Oogonia are, you see next. Now the oogonia are arrested at prophase 1. This question was asked in JIPMER. This was the question asked in JIPMER. This was the question asked in JIPMER, student. That is, oogonia is arrested in which phase? It is in the prophase 1 of meiosis 1. And that time it is called as primary oocyte. Acha, what is the ploidy during the primary oocyte, student? What is the ploidy during primary oocyte, student? It is 2N condition. Then the primary oocyte with a sheet of granulosa cell forms the primary follicle. The primary oocyte with the sheet of granulosa cell forms the primary follicle. What is the ploidy of primary follicle, if somebody will ask you? The ploidy of primary follicle is also 2n. Okay, it is a diploid condition. Diploid condition. Very good, students. I'm sure everyone is able to understand the complete part. So it is the diploid condition where we are going to see, that is the primary oocyte undergoes a diploid condition. That is what we are going to see. Okay, next, when we go to the further, that is the TS of the ovary, we can easily figure out, student, how the next procedure is going to be present. Let's see one by one. So around only, you see, 2 millions of the ovarian follicle were formed. One very important fact, there were the 2 million of the ovarian follicle which were formed, but out of these 2 million follicle, only 60,000, you see, only 60,000 to 80,000 of the primary follicle are left at the puberty. Only 60,000 to 80,000 are left during the puberty, and rest of them they degenerate. Okay, rest of them they are going to degenerate. Out of 2 million, imagine, only 60 to 80,000 are remaining, and rest all of them are going to degenerate. And in a female, again a question which was asked in NEET. The question which was asked in NEET, you see, it was a NEET question last year. That is, total number of follicle which are present. Okay, only how many are entire female reproductive span, if you see, what are the total number of follicle which are present, and so easily it can be seen. The total number of follicle comes out to be is 450. One of the very important questions, student, you should definitely remember this. One of the very important questions, student, you should definitely remember. So development follows this particular background chart. What are the background of the chart it is going to follow? Primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, and Graafian follicle. Primary, secondary, tertiary, and the Graafian follicle. In this way, we are going to see that the follicles are going to be representing each other. That is one very important factor which we are going to see, students. Have you all understood till here? Okay. Great, students. Okay, very good. And very great, students. That is one very important fact which we are going to see. Let us go to the next part. Let us go ahead to the next part, and let us find out what next do we have. What are the next which we do have? Let's try to understand that. Now, TS of the ovary. When we go to the TS of the ovary, in the TS of the ovary, we can see it is a degenerative. The follicles are atretic follicle, and they are processed in the follicular atresia. What do you mean by atretic follicle? Follicle which undergoes a complete decomposition. The degenerating follicles are atretic follicles, means undergoes a degeneration. Undergoes a degeneration. I'll write it over there. It undergoes degeneration. They all degenerate, students. They undergoes degeneration. That is one very important factor which we are going to look, which we are going to find, student. They undergo degeneration. Then thecal cells are there. So follicular atresia, we use a term. This term is important, student. Once asked in again, what is follicular atresia? AIMS, they had asked this question. What is follicular atresia? So this question is important. Now, theca cells of the atretic follicle secretes a small amount of androgen. Now they are going to secrete a little small amount of androgen. Okay. From the ovary, 2 ovaries, alternatively, 1 ovary follicle matures in the adult woman after every 28 days. So the ovary, whether it is a left ovary or it is a right ovary, one by one it is going to be producing. That is alternatively 1, then 2, then 3. In that way the production takes place. So can I take 1 to be order? That 1 comes out to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So these are the weeks. Okay, these are the complete, that is the round of production, not weeks, months, where it is going to be produced. Whereas if you take this right ovary, it comes out to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So how much of the ova can be produced? That is coming out to be total, that is 13 ova. Yes, do not get confused, student. Sometimes the teachers, the examiner, they do ask this question, that what are the total number of ovas which are going to be produced in 1 year by a female. The total number of ova produced in 1 year, total number of ova produced in 1 year is, so answer comes out to be is 13, not 12. Why does it comes out to be 13? 13 because menstrual cycle is for 28 days. Since it is for 28 days, so you divide 365 by 28 and roughly it comes out to be 13. So 13 ovas are going to be produced. 13 ovas are going to be produced, student, in 1 year during a female menstrual cycle. Important question they ask. Okay, NEET, this is one of the NEET question they generally ask. The students, they by mistake they write 12 and that comes out to be the wrong answer. Actual answer is 13. The actual answer comes out to be is 13. Good, all of you have understood this part. Let's go to the next slide. Now in the next slide we are going to learn a little about the oviduct and fallopian tube. How does this oviduct and fallopian tube is going to work, student? Let us learn about that particular function or functionality also. Let's try to see that. First we'll do that and then we'll go ahead. Let me connect the charger. Okay. Yes, it is disconnected, student. Let me connect it properly. Okay. So now we'll go to the next part, student, and we'll try to understand what are there in the oviduct and fallopian tube. You see, oviduct has infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus and uterine part. These are the parts which are present in the oviduct. Similarly, infundibulum has a central pore, that is ostium, and the marginal fimbriae, that is ciliated marginal fimbriae is present. We'll see the diagram, have patience. So when we go to the part, there are 3 parts. Okay, oviduct has infundibulum number 1, part number 1, then ampulla part number 2, isthmus, and the uterine part number 4. But uterine part we do not take it as such. Okay, and in infundibulum we have got finger-like projection which is present. Okay, that is called as fimbriae. Finger-like projection is present in the margin, that is called as fimbriae. We'll learn about this later. Similarly, students, then we go to, we find that there are ampullas which are present. These ampullas are curved, okay, dilated part of the oviduct. Curved dilated part of the oviduct where the isthmus, okay, a straight part of the oviduct, and isthmus is the straight part of the oviduct. And when we go to the uterine part, you see it's the terminal part that completely opens into the uterus. It is the terminal part, students, which is going to open into the uterus. So terminal part which is going to open into the uterus, student. They are going to open into the uterus, student. That is one very important fact which we are going to see. I hope everyone has understood till here. Has everyone understood till here? Okay, good. So we'll go to the next slide. Let us see what we have in the next slide, student. Let's go and check what we have in the next slide. You see the complete, we were talking about how the structure is and how it is going to be handling it. So I'll just magnify this image. Let us zoom it a little bit, and through the zoom we are going to understand. Okay, let's start from the right and we'll go then to the left. You see there is an ovary which can be easily seen in the diagram. There is an ovary which you see in the diagram. This is the ovary part, and then this complete part comes out to be is the fallopian tube. This complete part is the fallopian tube. This complete part is the fallopian tube. We'll learn about the fallopian tube. Along with that, in the complete, that is the uterus, what we are going to see, the innermost layer is called as endometrium, the middle layer is called as myometrium, and the outermost layer is called as perimetrium. We call it as a perimetrium. Okay. We also see that it has got the internal OS and external OS. What is this internal OS and external OS? That is the internal sphincter and the external sphincter, and in between there is a region that is called as cervix. Let me tell you, cervix along with vagina is called as the birth canal. This two together is called as a birth canal. These two together is called as birth canal. Cervix and vagina together is called as birth canal. Let's go to the next part. You see the complete, the left portion, if we see the complete body. So we find that the uppermost part of the uterus is called as fundus. Then we have got the body part. Body part is also called as corpus. Body part is also called as corpus. Acha, uterus is also called as hystera. Is equal to hystera. Uterus is also called as hystera. So the removal of the hystera is called as hysterectomy. The removal of the hystera is also called as hysterectomy. Because of this reason only, we also call it as hysterectomy. Okay. Then we have got a structure that is the infundibulum, and we have got the fimbriae. Ampulla is there. This region will be ampulla. Okay. Isthmic, ampullary, and isthmus. The last region is the isthmus. You have got the uterus, and the broad ligaments are present, student. A broad ligament is present, student, in that, and that is how. These all are going to be quite helpful. These all are going to be quite helpful and quite useful for the individual student. That is one very basic criteria which we are going to see, which we are going to find, student. Have you all understood? Have all of you understood this? Okay, we'll go to the next. Let's see the next part, what we have. So we have done the complete detailed structure of the uterus. Okay, whatever the maximum detailed structure was possible, we have done it for the uterus part. Okay, today we need to complete this complete lecture 3. I don't want anything to be pending, so all of you pay attention, and we are going to wind up with this lecture 3 today at any cost. Okay, because today again from 8 to 9 we have got lecture 4. Today from 8 to 9 again we have got lecture 4. So at any cost we are going to wind up with this lecture 3 today. Okay, so all of you stay very focused, because by today we have to complete with this lecture, student. Really important. So you can see that it is an inverted pear-shaped muscular distensible sac for anchoring and nourishing and developing the fetus. It is an inverted pear-shaped muscular structure which is absolutely distensible sac for anchoring and nourishing the developing fetus, that can be easily seen in the individual. It also keeps in the position by the ligament and attaches to the pelvic wall behind the urinary bladder, that is the rectum. It is going to be present behind the rectum. Okay. Uterine wall has got 3 layers, that is the outer perimetrium is there, middle myometrium is there, and inner endometrium is there. So outer is perimetrium, it is a membranous layer. As you see in the diagram as well as in the theory part, it is a membranous layer which comes out to be, okay, it's an absolute membranous layer, student. Then we find that the middle myometrium is a muscular layer. We find it to be muscular layer, and the inner endometrium is a glandular layer. Inner endometrium comes out to be, serves to be a complete glandular layer, student. That is what we are going to see. Okay. Let's go to the next part and try to understand the further concept, how it is going to work and how it's going to be present. Let's go and understand the further development and further part of it. So uterus is again differentiated. We find that the uterus is again differentiated. How do we differentiate the uterus? That is, it is differentiated into few regions, the uterus. One is called as the fundus, that is the upper dome shaped structure. Upper dome shaped structure is the fundus region. Then we have got cornua. Okay. We have got the cornua. Cornua is the second structure. It is the corners where the fallopian tubes enters into the uterus. Next, we call it as a body or the corpus part. That is the main part of the uterus. The majority of the section space is going to be handled by the body part only. Yes, students. And then last but not the least, we have got the cervix region. People, sometimes they get cervical cancer. So cervical cancer doesn't mean the neck cervical region. That is the cervix. The cancer which occurs in the cervix, that is what they are mean to know. The lower narrow portion that protrudes into the vagina, that is called as cervix. Okay, it is a glandular structure, you see. It's a glandular structure. Communicates with the uterus through the internal OS, internal sphincter. Okay. And we have got the vagina through the external opening. Okay. So internal opening sphincter and external opening sphincter is present, through which it is going to communicate with the internal environment and the external environment. That is one very important part which we are going to see, students. I hope till here it is understood. We have to complete this lecture today. All the 19 slides we have to complete, student. Then we'll go to few questions. So stay together and let us wind up with this part, because we do not want to delay in the syllabus for all the students who are preparing for 2021. Students who are preparing for 2021 should not miss it. So all the lectures in the maximum detail I'm going to give you in these classes. All the lectures in maximum detail will be taught, and stepwise, series wise I'm going to teach you. Not in a haphazard manner at all. Not at all in a haphazard manner I'm going to teach you, students. Don't panic. You stay with me and you'll find that whatever is your required stuff, you'll get through this channel. That is this particular UNACADEMY Puneet Sir classes. You'll get everything, whatever is required. Shall we go next? Great, students. Let's see. Vagina. We'll learn a little about the vagina now. Let's see this. So, when we learn about the vagina, we see that it is a muscular structure, students. This comes out to be a elastic tube muscular structure. Elastic tube-like muscular structure it is. Okay. As a female copulatory organ. This acts as a female copulatory organ. Similarly, the mucosa layer of the vagina is made up of non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, which we are going to see over here, students. Non-keratinized squamous epithelium are going to be found over there. Now, one of the copulatory organs, so I can definitely take it to be one of the copulatory organ in female reproductive system. It comes out to be, yes. One of the copulatory organ in female reproductive system. So these all things are, you have to remember. Okay, that is what we are going to look into. We are going to see, students. Let's go a little more ahead and find out what rest we have. Okay. So external genitalia is one of the very important part which we have not completed yet, and we need to complete this part also. So external genitalia together is also called as vulva. Together we also call it as vulva, student. External genitalia. So external genitalia is a group of, a complete combination of, a group of the organs what we are going to see in the external genitalia. It is a group of or a combination which we are going to find out, students. It's a combination. Together we also call it as vulva. Let's see what all we have. in this. So centrally they are located. You see, it's a centrally located depression can be seen and is called as vestibule, and bears the skin fold that is called as labia. Now labia can be of two parts: labia majora, that is the outer muscular fold, and labia minora, that is the inner fold. So I'll just divide it into two parts, that is the labia can be further divided into minora and majora. Let us learn a little about it. So it will be majora comes first and then comes the minora. Minora comes the later part. So majora comes the first part, okay, and minora comes the later part, what we are going to see. Now in this, what do you find? The outermost covering, it is a skinny covering, okay, it's a skinny covering over there, okay, and this is smaller in size, majora is bigger in size, okay, this is smaller in size, majora is bigger in size. Mons pubis is a fat anterior most that is on the up front part, it is present anterior most, that is the part which contains vulva, okay, has a deposition of fat as well as the pubic hair in that region. So that will be present over here. We'll see the diagram in the detail. Don't worry, I'll zoom the diagram and I'll show the diagram to every one of you. Then perineum is there. It is in between the vestibule and the anus. Perineum is a region which is between the vestibule and the anus. Here it is. Then we have got the clitoris. It is an analogous organ for the glans penis in male. It's a homologous organ for the glans penis in male. So I can write it over there. It's homologue to glans penis. Homologue to glans penis, and the urethral opening at the tip of the vestibule is there. There is a urethral opening at the tip of the vestibule can be seen. Now let us see a little more detailed structure of it through the diagram, and then we'll be able to understand. I'll zoom a little more so that it will be visible to everyone. Now you see how it is. The outermost is the labia majora, and then the inner to the labia majora is labia minora. Then we have got the vaginal orifice. Urethral orifice is little above the vaginal orifice, what we can see. Then we have got the clitoris, which is homologue to the glans penis, what we have already seen. We have got the urethra, that is through a urogenital tract. Urethra is there. Then we have got the urinary bladder, fembrae is present over there, cervix, okay. Then ostium is present, yes, definitely ostium is present. Uterine ostium, through which the sperm will be taken inside the uterus. We call it as a uterine ostium. Then vaginal rugae, there is a fold in the inner part of the cervix, rather I should say, and that is called as vaginal rugae, and then is the vagina. Okay, this is the complete structure of the vagina. That is how you have it. I hope everyone has understood this structure, and the structure is absolutely clear to everyone. I hope this structure is absolutely clear to all of you. Right, student? Okay. Let's go to the next part. Good. Now this is the slide. Yes, this is the slide. I guess this is the second last slide which we are going to see. The external genitalia, as we have discussed, some of the descriptions of the external genitalia is there, what we are going to see, and it comes out to be, that is labia minora, labia majora. Okay, let us now learn a little about it and then we'll wind off. So it is a part of a lesser lips, we call it as, and is around the vestibule without hair, but bears a sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland means oil gland. What do you mean by sebaceous gland? That means it contains oil gland. Oil gland is there. Then similarly we have got the labia majora, a pair of larger, thicker, fleshy fold, lies out the labia minora that is present, and they are covered by the pubic hair, and they have a large number of sebaceous glands. They have a large number of sebaceous glands, also called as the oil gland. It also contains the oil gland, students. So these are some of the structures which we have already seen, and I'm sure that everyone has understood this. Lecture 3 of human reproduction. In the evening we have got lecture 4 from 8 to 9. Let me tell you, every day you can find me on UNACADEMY. Okay, that is KCET NEET classes, a special class I take. I always take a special class, and every day there are 2 timings which I follow, that is from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock PM. These all are in PM, students. So these are the timings which I am always taking it, student. I hope everyone is able to understand. Okay, shall we do some questions? Shall we solve some questions? Let's go with the questions. Okay, let me then. Yes, let me upload the questions and we'll solve some questions. Yes, I guess it is uploading, student. Great. So yesterday also we have completed with some of the answers, some of the question and answers we have done yesterday. Today also we are going to wind up with some of the part. Let's try to see. Okay. So last 10 minutes every day I will be practicing the questions with all of you. Last 10 minutes will be our question sessions. So I guess this. Which all question I have completed, that I will not discuss again. Okay. Did I discuss this question, sir? Question number 7 was done. Do you remember? Was question number 7 completed, students? Okay. Question number 8 we have to start with. So which of the following, question number 8 we are starting with, student. So question number 8, which of the following, which group represents the external genitalia of human female? I'll start with the polling. Let's see how many of you are going to mark the right answer. Question number 8 we are into. Question number 8. Yes. Mark the right answer, student, and wait. Quickly mark it. Very good, students. I can see many of you have marked the right answer. Okay, good, students. Okay, that is what we see. The answer comes out to be is the D part. The answer comes out to be here is the D part, students. That is the right answer. D comes out to be is the right answer. That is labia majora, labia minora, and clitoris comes out to be as the represents the external genitalia of human female. Represents the external genitalia of the human female. That is what we are going to see. Let's go to the next question. Let's see. The layer of ovum outside to inside are. Which are the layers which are outside to inside? Question number 9. Let's go with the polling and let's see. Yes. Mark with the answer, students, quickly. Yes. Very good. Very good, students. Okay. So answer comes out to be is the corona radiata. Very good. The answer comes out to be is corona radiata. That is A option. Corona radiata, zona pellucida, and vitelline membrane. These are some of the structures which we are going to see. Corona radiata, zona pellucida, and vitelline membrane are the structures which we are going to find, are the structures which we are going to see and find, student, which we generally look into, which we see in the female reproductive system. Acha, let's go to the next question, question number 10. So human female ova are produced in, and that's a very easy question. Question number 10 is a very easy question. So let's start with the polling. What should be the answer, student? Mark quickly. Mark it quickly, all of you. What should be the answer for this? Now the time is going to up. The answer comes out to be is A. Definitely the answer comes out to be is A. That is the ovary. Ovary is one of the structure which are marked to be for the production of ova, and so ovary is said to be the primary reproductive organ in female. Ovary and testis, I'll write it over here. So for you people, I'll write it over here. That is ovary and testis are called as primary reproductive organ in male and female respectively. Male and female respectively, we are going to find out, students. That's really great. Okay, good, students. We have answered this question. Let's go to the next question. A is the right answer. Let's go to the next question. Read the question. By the time I'll initiate with the polling. Read the next question, student, all of you. Hormone responsible for the ovulation and development of corpus luteum is. Shall I start with the polling? Question number 11. Start marking, all of you. Quickly try to answer, students. So is it FSH, LH or ICSH? Let me tell you, LH and ICSH is same only. Or LTH. LTH is lutotrophic hormone. LTH comes out to be is a lutotrophic hormone, students. LTH comes out to be is a lutotrophic hormone. Okay. FSH is follicular stimulating hormone. Yes. LH is luteinizing hormone. Why? What is ICSH? Yes, what is ICSH? Yes, interstitial cortex stimulating hormone. That is what we are going to find, student. So some of the very important structure. So for question number 11, the answer comes out to be, I'll write the answer. The answer comes out to be is B. Okay, answer comes out to be is LH, luteinizing hormone, which we are going to see. LH comes out to be one of the best answer for this question, students. Okay. Now, before we wind up for the class, let me again just show you the promotion slide, and we'll wind up with the chapter. So I'll be showing you the one of the promotion slide. Okay, student. Yeah, I guess it got uploaded, and here it is. You people need not to pay a single rupee from your pocket, and you can utilize completely the classes, and it will be very useful for every one of you students if you follow the classes. Similarly, every day I am taking classes for the students on UNACADEMY. Generally, I follow the timing, that is from 3 to 4 and 8 to 9. 8 to 9 is a fixed time, students, I'll tell you. Night 8 to 9, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is a fixed timing I take classes for UNACADEMY students, and that will be very beneficial. So what I have started doing this, I'll be recording the sessions and putting on YouTube, but if you come for a live class, it will be really interactive and useful for all of you. So if you come for the classes, this will generally help every one of you, and this will be properly guiding you through. It will be a guide post, it will be guiding all of you, and will be helping you attain good marks in the coming exam. So let's start it, let's crack it in this way. Prepare nicely for the 2021 or class 12 student as well as class 11 student. We are going to prepare in this way, and I make sure that all students are going to get good marks. So all the best, and all of you, and with UNACADEMY